G'day folks, I am Blunty. Now, it's not a technology review today, it's not a gaming review, it's not a camera review. I just woke up this morning feeling a little bit inspired to try something different, to broaden my horizons a bit. So today, we're going for a walk into these botanical gardens here in Sydney, and I'm going to introduce you to some native Australian wildlife, specifically spiders. So if you're an arachnophobe, you should turn away now, because this is going to freak you out, because there are some big juicy ones about. In fact, there's probably a big juicy spider in the thumbnail of this video, so if you are arachnophobic, you shouldn't have clicked in the first place. You're a bit of a knob. There are two kinds of spiders you'll commonly run into during the hotter months of the year around these parts. They both spin their large webs in conspicuous locations and are both fairly large and brightly coloured, so they are easy to spot. And under the blaze of the Aussie summer sun, the gardens around here are virtually swarming with the buggers. Meet Argiope keyserlingi, more commonly known as the St Andrew's cross spider, and Nephila plumipes, the Coastal Golden Orb-weaver. Now, unusually for critters who live in Australia, neither of these guys carry venom that is particularly dangerous to humans, nor are they particularly aggressive towards us, unless of course you pester them first. Here's a helpful hint for you. Don't poke spiders, particularly in Australia. They hate it, and a lot of them are quite poisonous, but as I said, these guys relatively harmless. I mean, worst case scenario, I'm allergic to the venom, my arm swells up and it hurts like the devil, but I'm not going to die, probably. The St Andrew's cross spider weaves a very tidy and meticulous web, very classical spider web shape, and the iconic feature which inspires their common name, a series of tight zigzag lines forming a cross in the centre, which the spider sits in and arranges its legs in pairs, aligning them with the cross while they wait for their prey. These web decorations are thought to give some protection from the spider's own predators, creating some visual confusion, but they've also been found to be highly reflective of ultraviolet light, and so may also aid in attracting prey insects who are attracted to the same reflective property of many flowers. The St Andrew's cross spider will also sometimes shake itself and its whole web when feeling threatened. But for my money, Nephila is far more interesting. These girls spin a much larger and more complex and frankly messier web, and although the brightly decorated variety that live around here may have you thinking they're called the Golden Orb-weaver thanks to their striking yellow banding on their legs or the patterns on their abdomens, they're actually named so because of the yellow-hued silk they spin. Their webs are often very large, the main structure often spanning a metre or more, and the support strands anchoring it to trees and other structures can be several metres long. The silk from Nephila is also remarkably strong, one of, if not the strongest silk in the world. So strong, in fact, that it has been known to trap finches and other small birds, even bats. And yes, if you're curious, if a bird does manage to get itself trapped, large golden orb weavers have been known to feed on them. That's right, we have spiders in Australia that eat birds. But usually their meals are flying insects, commonly flies and moths and butterflies, and I've even seen the occasional dragonfly become a victim, some up to twice as large as Nephila herself. Interestingly, it was recently discovered that the webs contain a very effective ant repellent to stop ants nicking off with the spider's food. These large webs also bring some issues of their own. On very windy days, for example, or under heavy rain, Nephila will sometimes dismantle portions of it to allow the wind or rain to pass through without risking the whole structure being disrupted or even destroyed. You'll often also see chains of clumped together insect carcasses and plant material hanging from the very centre of the web. This visual clue is kind of like how we humans put a pattern on our glass doors to stop us running face first into them. This, combined with strong but non-sticky barrier lines that fence off the main structure of the web, are thought to help keep it from being accidentally destroyed by larger animals stumbling by. A web this large can also be pretty difficult to patrol, and there are several small species of spider who specialise in nicking food caught in this web, and unfortunately for her, that clever ant repellent has no effect on Nephila's fellow arachnids. These kleptoparasitic bandits must be very careful not to disturb the web while they go about their thievery though, lest they become a snack themselves. The same is true, by the way, for the tiny males, who, barely larger than a housefly, are utterly dwarfed by the comparatively monstrous females. The boys hang around the web, delicately and carefully climbing around and snacking on bits of food left behind, and will wait for the females to be distracted by a catch before they even try and approach her and attempt to mate. And in fact, as creepy as the idea sounds, these guys are so small the female will often have no idea she's just been inseminated. So in essence, what we have here is a giant, bird-eating rape spider. And while undoubtedly a spider this large and this dramatic looking, sitting within her huge and chaotic web will intimidate many of you, should you come across one, take a moment to get a closer look. They really are fascinating and wonderful little creatures, and perhaps even pretty, in their own way. Well, there you go, folks. I know I'm no Sir David Attenborough, and I would be ashamed to even try to compare myself to that man. He is fantastic, and I've admired him all of my life. But with any luck, you learned a little something, and I got to try something new. And I think I got some good stuff for just being out here with a camera and a monopod, basically. No big equipment, no lights, no special macro lenses or anything, just ingenuity. So I think I'm kind of proud with how it came out, although I haven't immediately looked at the stuff on the computer yet, just on the back of the camera here, but I think it looked good. What do you guys reckon? Should I do more of these? Introduce you to more Australian wildlife for you foreigners out there interested in our creepy crawlers, birds and bees and critters and lizards. I saw a lizard earlier. Didn't get him on the camera though. Very quick little bugger, little skink. That big. He was basking in the sun, and I stomped over to try and get a picture of a spider, and saw a little slither of movement on the ground, and just saw him disappear into the bushes. Love skinks. Skinks are awesome. Anyway, thanks for watching. I am Blunty. I will catch you next time, and this is Christmas Eve when I'm recording this, so Merry Christmas and Happy Hanukkah and all of the other generic holiday wishing things, so no one's offended or everyone's offended, or I don't know anymore. Happy holidays. Something.